In this video, we're going to discuss how to set up a rinser from inline pack. We have an 8-head or 12-head rinser. We're going to talk a little bit about in-feed, how the rails should be set up, how the crossovers should be set up, and then we're going to look at the actual rinser and how to manipulate the rinser to get this up and running as quickly and efficiently as possible. Today we're going to record how to set up the bottling line. For this we only need two tools. One is the number 15 and 13. In general, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the bottles run nice on the rails. So if you have any conveyors that run, the rails need to be wide enough for the bottles to run, to get through the passages. As a general rule, the smaller the bottles, the taller the bottles, the lighter the bottles, the more precise you have to work on these crossovers from conveyor to conveyor. And then also in packaging, the general rule is never let go. So never let these bottles float freely. Always have them grabbed. Basically, you want to have them in a corridor where you can tell them where to go. So this is easy to change the width. We can open these and we can run them. In this case, we're just gonna make sure that here the conveyor is wide enough for this to go through. Bottle comes through, runs in. The first thing we do is we need air to the system. When we set all of these up, we have to open and close these different gates and holders manually, and we can do that on our control panel. And the control panel has jog functions, so you can see rinse jog, a clamp jog, and you can see it manually goes on and off, and that is true for all of them. You have a screen for pivoting, you have a screen for rinsing, you have a screen for the gates, which is the closing gate and the open gate, and then you have system settings where you can say how many bottles do I let in. We have a sensor that counts the bottles. The functionality is basically it counts the bottles in. Right now we have 12, and once 12 are through, the in gate closes. There's a certain time that it takes for them to all index in. Then the clamp closes, then we pivot, then we start rinsing, we let it drip, we pivot back, clamp opens, and exit gate opens for a certain amount of time to let the bottles out. That closes again. At the same time this opens, new bottles come in, and we start the whole process from new. We can change the closing gate, and we have to change the clamp for the size of the bottles. We have the rinse heads, so we have to kind of distribute the bottles evenly within the clamp. So we're going to go ahead and just loosen the bar, which is two number 13s here. I'm going to open that up, make sure the bottles are in. I'm going to leave enough space for these to index in properly. I have, for these valves, I have maybe an inch of clamp way, so I want to make sure they come in, have enough space to index in, but not too much, so when the clamp comes forward it actually closes it. And so now my end gate is set. I can see here that there's a gap here, so that's good. My bottles will stop, and then they will start the tip and the rinse. And so to do that, I go to rinse system, system. So jaw clamp. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That clamps my bottles. That's on the system. And then I jog forward. There we go. And now I can go ahead and I can adjust my sprayers. 1, 2, So I'm just gonna pivot this back. So we have jog forward and jog reverse. I go back to my system. I open that clamp. I'm gonna run one more bottle in. I jog my clamp again. I jog forward again. I can adjust my last little thing. And then if we have water in there, we can actually go back to system, and I can jog my rinse. And now I'm spraying, and I want to make sure when I spray into the middle of the bottle, and the rest will just spray down into the basin, and that's fine. All right, I'll stop my rinse. I go back to my pivot. I reverse it. I come back. If I go to my main system, I need to reduce now my bottles from 12 to, so we have 9 bottles. So now we have the mechanics set up. Now we have to set up the sensors and the timing. So if I open my clamp, I know I'm gonna bring this back. I'm gonna set the sensor on glass bottles because they're clear. You wanna grab something that is the thickest part, because on glass bottles it's an optical sensor. If you do it somewhere in here, it might shine through and reflect. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you grab the biggest bottle, and you can loosen that right there so that it hits the neck. Then we have timing. So the timing depends. We want to open the gate, we want to let them in. Once it counts to 9, we close the gate. So if we go to the gates, we have hold back close delay, we have hold back open delay, exit gate, and that's the in delay, and exit gate open delay, and exit gate open dwell. So for this case, I would say I'll go to, let's see, 20, because they're a bigger bottle. The smaller the bottle, the quicker we have to act, right? The larger the bottle, the longer we have to wait till the bottle actually has passed before we close. And it also depends the distance of the sensor and the gate. So it basically determines how much gap will be in between the bottles that travel through, and in that time I have to close my gate. So the bottles evacuate out and the new bottles come in, and I can extend that time, which makes that gap bigger, which gives me more time for this time to close. And you can start large or with a larger number, which means the gap will be bigger, which means it's going to be easier to time this closing after the last bottles are out. So I think we'll open these ones at the end, and then we just do a quick test run. So here we come out, we need to open this, we need to open this, we need to open this, bottles come through, this a bit more, like so, and then we have to adjust these to allow for a larger bottle. And that's here. This. You can loosen these come out, and then of course our bottling line has to open up as well. 1, 2. Also, this sensor is part of this line. Okay. And it's the backup sensor. So basically, if there is bottles in front of here, and you can see that on the system screen, is this backup delay. So if a bottle is in front of it for more than 1 second, or we can change it to 2 seconds, the system will not open the exit clamp. So it's kind of a safeguard for not backing into it. So that's basically setting up of the rinser. So this bottling line is a inversion rinser for sanitary solutions. It's not an air rinser. We can use this in apple juice, hot fill or cold fill applications. In closing, we just want to make sure that you can run this slowly at the beginning or I would suggest to run this slowly at the beginning. There's lots of timing settings that you can do. Leave yourself some time, go slow, and then if you want to speed up the line, you can slowly increase the speeds of any of the settings. I wouldn't go, if you have a gate opening time or dwell time of 5 seconds, I wouldn't go to 1 second. Like, make small incremental changes and slowly speed up your line, and do that for all of the components, whether it's a capper or a rinser or a bottling line itself.